Hi YouTube, I hope you're doing good. I'm doing great. I'm going to read you a little bit of Greek and then I'll tell you what that is for. Just a minute. A as am, amen ate ase. It's I am, or wait, just a second. I have, I had, I will, I did, um, wait now. Okay, just a minute. I gotta look at these letters a second. I did, they will, they had. So that's what all that means. And see, I was trying to explain last week, um, there's 12 principles with what would be called like vowels, and there's a category for the verbs, and these are like the s at, like you would add it to the either the beginning or the ending of a word or in the middle, and it will all mean different things. And that's why the Hebrews couldn't translate that when they were trying to come up with their own stories of creation and whatnot, because they were not capable to grasp the technical difficulties in the ancient Greek language. And that's how I know what I was reading in Greek and Latin when I was a kid compared to the Hebrew and what I was taught, and how they were going to use the English and the Hebrew to make their book of gematria to fool everybody, to keep track of their bloodline, which I am a part of, and that's why I was involved in it. But I was also taught by masters to stop the deception because they couldn't live with themselves. I don't know if God or Satan threatened them or what they were feeling when I decoded stuff and got caught. I have no clue, but I do know they tried to take me out several times and it didn't work. People are always trying to take my life, and it never works for them. And I know it scared the living bejesus out of them, you know. So, yeah. But what a language. Woofda. you know, like Madwa, Midwa, Medea, it's all the name of the female that medicine is named after, the cure. The antidote, like Athena means antidote. Isn't that interesting? But when you read the Septuagint in Greek, and when I'm able to bring that to you, and like I said, it's going to be sometime next year. I'm working on it. I'm working on it slower than maybe most people, but a lot of times if you want to learn something, you'll check it out, and then when you go back to it, it's like bam, and it hits. Well, it's starting to hit with me now. I'm starting to kind of grasp it. Like I said, anybody can sit there with English and um, another language and compare what the meanings of what you visually see. But can you take another language's alphabet, if it isn't the English alphabet, and read it? You know, probably not. That's what I'm going to be able to do. I'm going to be able to read the scriptures that I know and bring it to you and prove to you what I'm saying is the truth, and how um, Judaism, Christianity, Zionists, those type of people have used language to deceive. You know, if you were in a group of animals that wanted to eat you, You wouldn't need any language to understand what was going on, would you? Language does confuse, Whatever people say, they can say anything they want. Doesn't mean anything, but I'm going to prove what I'm talking about, and I'm working hard at it for everybody. I love you. Cheers. Or I don't love you. Cheers. You know, if you're for the 100% truth and you can put your ego aside and learn something new, or appreciate those that do for free out of love, because that's really what they're all about, then that appreciation and respect is returned, wholeheartedly from people like me, you know. So, true thing. So, yeah, it's a trip. I'm just loving it. I've watched every single Greek lesson I could get my hands on. I haven't gone into study groups, and I may in the future. I've got other things going on with several people, and that's not my forte. I'm doing this as a private thing. There's other people that are doing it more as a public service, and that's what I would share, like those lessons or whatever over on Lady Babylon. They're all there. And there's links to there's an Irish guy that teaches companion lessons to go with. We've had 7 lessons now. We're in our 2nd chapter. So we just had it was like an exam last night on the whole first thing. Wow. What a trip. But it's so cool because, yeah, just is. I thought I was going to work at learning French, and I do know, basic stuff like oui and parlez-vous français and, um, that frère Jacques, that type of thing. But, and pretty fluent in German if I get going, like Doug Stad and I used to speak together. Know a little Norwegian, Swedish, a little, well, 2 years of Spanish. I had to learn Hebrew, Greek, and Latin when I was a kid to decipher. Well, what we sang in the Catholic Church when I was in Catholic girls' school, we sang in Latin, and our Latin responses in the rituals, the satanic rituals in the Catholic Church that are affiliated with Judaism and Lutheran and Presbyterian and Orthodoxy and Baptist and the evangelists, that they don't want to admit that all their religions stem from Satanism, and I'm going to flip and prove it. And I'm going to teach you what the Christ Spirit really is, you know, whether a man carries it or a woman. Um, but there's one true God, and it's time people respect that, you know. I'm going to prove to you that the Son and the Father are not the same being. That's what I'm going to prove to you. And I'm going to prove to you that the female spirit is the one that helps you, nothing else. You can talk to God if you have a direct link, but it is the female spirit. Like your mom, if you have a good mother, you'll go to your dad for like pretty serious things, but like you can always, if you have a normal mother, rely on her in many ways that your dad will just tell you, well, suck it up. He had broken legs and he's like, walk it off, that type. So I think you know what I mean. It's not quite as drastic as that. And if something serious like car accidents or something, if your dad's available, he's like the first one there too, or whatever. Normally, I didn't have that, but I know how I feel, and I've seen how other people are with their children under normal circumstances, you know. So typically, unless your adult children are walking in the ignorance of darkness, you know, then there's not really any relationships with that type of person. Can't do it. That's nothing there. It's too shallow for me to go swimming. It's like, I'm not diving in that. I'll break my neck. That's what talking to somebody that is ignorant is like to me. It's like talking to them makes my neck hurt, makes my whole body hurt. They're simple like that. Can't stand it. Or if they get on this flippin' peace train, yeah, we all want a world without wars, normal people would. Oh, that reminds me. I'm gonna read what, and I consider this woman a Facebook friend. I mean, she's not a hateful woman. I love her like that, but I'm gonna read what she wrote, and then you'll understand kind of a little more about my personality, you know. But it always trips me out, the ignorance of people that will not fight for themselves. They think they do, and they wouldn't fight for another person, but they don't care if you do. They don't care if I do. They don't care if my grandchild does, because they can't think anything beyond what the establishment has trained everybody to do. It's just, ugh, just a minute. I'm pulling it up. You'll get what I'm saying, too. Um, getting there, getting there. Here it is. Wow. America First on Facebook. Unless you're willing to pick up a rifle and defend our country, I suggest you stop criticizing those who are and be thankful for their sacrifice. Sorry, whether you agree with it or not, with sunglasses on. And I wrote, sure will in my own country. How about that? You know, I will fight here, but nowhere else. That's so ignorant. I can't believe people, mothers and grandmothers and fathers, and the ignorance of it all. It just, I mean, if somebody's in your neighborhood and they're messing with stuff and you're allowed to bear arms to protect yourself, but going and fighting other people's battles when they're just as capable as other people in the world, this has got to stop, people. Then here's one too that I say a lot. I didn't say this, but somebody else did. Stefan something. We're not permitted to purchase property in China, and we shouldn't allow them to buy any here. Nobody should. I I'm saying this is me. Nobody should. You know, that's a fact. And they shouldn't have dual citizenship too. These people, like they support Israel, they're from there or their ancestors are, and they have dual citizenship. No, go away, get out of here. Go to your country and support them from there. Period. Get the fuck out of our country. You're treasonous. Period. And I can prove through the Constitution that dual citizenship is treasonous. Oh, yeah, it's in there. If I get my way with this government, there won't be one except for local. And then when somebody messes with you, you can get them right there, you know. And it's all capable. And um, individual states can make contracts between other states, and it can be a working system with the accounting abilities of the whole system anyway. And the National Guard and the Army can stay home and defend our lands and leave the citizens alone. Protect the borders. And we can hire our own local policemen, that type of thing. And court system and that type of thing. And it's all doable. And then, guess what? You see the money we just saved to put into our communities to lower taxes and inflation? Yeah, it's all doable. People have to start thinking bigger on this, and stop listening to what the usurper, thieves, and liars are saying out there to you. Ugh, man, I've always been independent in almost every way possible I could ever do. Sure, I took courses and got training in different um, and tests and license in different areas to make my world go around. I've had to conform a certain amount, but not typically. Usually I was making my own way in the world without being involved with the beast system. It just not, it goes against my very fiber, you know. Did any of you look into that particle physics, the last 5 minutes of a video I shared of Sam Vaknin, Professor Sam Vaknin? Yeah, he knows you can't put that together without killing it. And that's what happened with the human system. They tried to become androgynous and they weakened themselves. True story. I'm going to prove it to you. It's right in the medical text that is the Septuagint that the Hebrews didn't even know was doctrine from doctors keeping medical texts. Had nothing to do. Well, it is spiritual, don't get me wrong, and it is God, but it has nothing to do with the entity people call Jesus. It's a fact. Yes, the only connection he has with it is the um, twisting of it all. And I'm going to prove that, what that name is, when you call on that. So, yeah. So anyway, I'm really happy for that. I'm happy for that opportunity to be able to meet not just scholars. These people are philologists, experts in languages. It's not just reading the Bible and comparing it to your concordance. This is like language and migrational language and who did what to what and what it is, what it actually means, that type. Wow. Yeah. You do know I made my own language, and it is a language called Yetagi. I'll say I love you. Atagai, letagov, Yetagu. Sort of like pig Latin, but it isn't, is it? So, am I a weirdo or what it is? I love language, you know? And that's how I'm going to prove to you what I'm saying is true. Does not take God out of my heart or anybody else's. If they truly have the truth within them, my words are going to ring true to you, and you're going to want to see what they're doing over on Lady Babylon. and then you're going to get down to the bottom of the truth. Why does church feel so icky when you're in it, even though you want to be a part of a church and a congregation? And no, I wouldn't suggest anybody become a Satanist. Don't do that. This is not necessary to be calling ourselves the power of the time and using that, even like invocation of that power and strength. No, the word is God, period. You know, we're to seek the face of God, not anybody else. It doesn't say seek the face of Jesus. It doesn't say pray to Jesus at all. And he's not the one that wrote, you don't get to the Father except through me. That was not who wrote that. I'm going to prove these things. So, yeah, anyway, sure is fun. It really is. I'm prepared for this, you know. For me, pretty good. I'm feeling great. Like I say, broken bones, stroke, operations, everything. What I've come bald to, you know, I'm going to prove to you my strength of being within myself that they can't take away, even though they want to stop me. That's what I'm talking about. Like taking your little kid 30-foot cliff diving into 38-degree water. Well, you think it's going to die, but guess what? They didn't. You know? True story. That's what happened to me. But, yeah. Well, that's not that's not that's not a little thing. These things that when I say they tried to kill me, these are not fairy tale little things. I'm telling you it's the truth, to stop me. And when they couldn't stop me, they had to join me. They didn't have a choice, you know? I don't know if it would be intelligent to cross somebody that can put something that will cross you in your future. That's not very smart, to hurt an innocent heart for greed, you know? There was somebody said, if you could take one thing out of the world, what would you take out? And one person put people, and I wrote, if I seen that, I'd say you first. And then somebody else said greed. That's a good one. I didn't see it. Doug was telling me about it. Then I'm thinking parasites and vampires and people like that. Yeah, that's it right there. Yeah, I saw even in my lessons I get a little flustered. That happens. I've taken so many tests and I just about wanted to cry, and I just like psychology 101 for real. Or the one that almost really made me cry was my nursing exam, including um, the pronunciation of pharmaceuticals that were popular at that time in my training in Latin. But I already knew some of Latin, but to actually enunciate the words properly, like when you see a prescription and you're able to tell people what that says, I can do that. you know. Psychology was fun because I had read all about that. Just being adopted, they had these stupid books, um, how to train your adopted child book, and they'd sit me down and read me this bullshit, and then they had their psychological bullshit, and I was like reading Freud. When I was 9, I didn't understand it, but when I was at 12, I got a big grasp on his retarded bullshit. It was a trip. But yeah, I read a lot. I still have a fascination in it, but I'm really particular what I do read now. But I used to read everything of anything, in whole sets of encyclopedias, atlases, and world books. Then that didn't quench my appetite, and I helped our library in my school, that librarian, redo her Dewey Decimal System before computers, and organize all the books, and there were tens of thousands of them. And then I moved on to the Minneapolis Public Library, where, whoa, it was like, dang. Plus, in my church, my pastor's office had some oracles and some books and different things where I got the base of my knowledge that the Masonically inclined type of people would, like, they think they're wizards, that type of thing. And I was like making connections with all this stuff long time ago, you know. I don't mind keeping busy. I just don't like people wasting my time. And when they don't work hard for other people, just themselves, and then they with me, well, yeah. I get to a time limit. It's just like when I kicked my ex out. If I get to that point, and I was deeply in love with this man, but he crossed the line. So you go there with me. There's no coming back for you, you know. Just watch. You don't believe that? I'm serious. I'm not playing with people anymore. I'm going to prove the dogs and expose the dogs for what they are, the total pigs out there. The selfish, greedy pigs. The cruel, selfish, greedy pigs that enjoy putting their pain on other people. That's the only control they have. Or for men to act feminine, so what quality are you trying to develop in yourself? You know? And am I not acting like a woman? What do you think a woman is? I'll ask you that. I'll guarantee you it's got more testosterone than I'll ever have. So, yep. So anyway, you can tell. Whoa. Yeah, I had quite a morning actually. But yeah, it's the world we live in. It's not the hand I was given. But I'll help straighten this shit out. That's what I'm doing. I hope other people will share this knowledge and get this out there for everybody as soon as we can untwist all this for people and give the doctrine from the doctor, the actual healer, God's true energy for everybody, and the knowledge of how to take care of ourselves and what to do in those scriptures. You're darn right it's a science book. It's just that the Hebrew are not scientific. They're mystical. I almost said spiritual, wouldn't be appropriate because God is spiritual. But the Hebrews aren't, and I'm going to so prove that. I'm going to so prove that their dark arts have been fooling everybody for so long. You need to share this information. You really do. It's not a game. There's nothing hateful in my heart. I've been doing this all my life and I need help. We need help to get all this information out there. Who is going to do that? Who's going to help do that? gotta be one tough cookie. Are you up for it? Anybody? Are you up going up to buck the system at all in any way? Or to think outside of the box and take the doctrine back and untwist it before it got put into Hebrew and English and the rest of it with the deception in there? Who's up for uncovering the truth of what those ancient documents say? Anybody want to share that it says medical stuff, not family history of incest and the rest of that? Anybody? Unless you like the story that men and women did something wicked to God, or that God made faulty human souls, I think you should listen to what I'm saying is true. So, well, I'm going to leave it here. I love you all. Appreciate you joining me. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace and love from Pine City, Minnesota, USA. And I gotta say it. Have a nice night or day wherever you're at. Hope you're getting somewhere else with that level. You can level it up. Help me.